Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. This is one that I'm very excited about. What we have in front of me is 8 different releases of Sam Houston 14-year-old. So, I'm going to run through and tell you what we have, and then we're going to go through nosing and tasting and see which batch I like the best. Over here we have South Carolina Batch 2. This is Indiana Batch 2. This one is Texas Batch 1. This is Texas Batch 2. North Carolina Batch 1. Kentucky Batch 1. Kentucky Batch 2. And Florida Batch 1, which is the only full bottle that I own. So the rest of these were all samples sent by you guys. Thank you so much. Only 3 of these were sent by the same person. All the rest were sent by everybody else. I'm so appreciative to be able to try this many different ones. I've had a few others too. I had Georgia Batch 1, which was one of my favorites so far. Unfortunately, I drank that whole sample because it was so good. And in 2 different videos, I didn't just chug it. So we're going to go through these ones and see which one comes out on top today. We're going to start at this end and finish over there with Florida. So South Carolina Batch 2. This one's a little sharp. Nice fruitiness. Nice vanilla, nice cream. Nice caramel. This one's a little more perfumey. Indiana's a little more perfumey. A little rounder. Oh, Texas 1 is darker and more oak. Texas 2 is nice and round, a little less oak than Texas 1. A real nice middle of the road. Beautiful. North Carolina 1 jumps back a little more caramel like South Carolina. Interesting. North Carolina and South Carolina are very similar. This one's slightly darker, slightly sweeter. Kentucky 1 has got a funk that I do not love. Kentucky 2 has much less funk. It's also very caramel. Also has a good bit of cinnamon on the nose. Florida has a lot of cinnamon. Tons of cinnamon and oak. Light cherry. Light vanilla. South Carolina 2, very spicy. Huge explosion of spice. Ooh. But the amount of spice in South Carolina 2 has got nothing on Indiana 2. Holy crap. Indiana 2 is just like, explosion of spice in Indiana 2. Huge rye notes. Monster spice notes. Texas 1, way lighter, way less spicy. More creamy. There's still spice there. There's still like a normal amount of spice, but these 2 are like explosions of spice. Texas 2. Texas 2 is way fruitier, even less spicy. Nice and rounded. Very, very nice. So far, this is the best on the taste. Texas 2, hands down so far. Let's go North Carolina. That's also very light. Not crazy spicy. There's a good amount of spice there, but it leans more oak and a baking note. There's a real nice like allspice note on North Carolina 1, Kentucky 1 with that funk. But the taste is actually really nice on Kentucky 1. It goes like cinnamon bread and brown sugar, and also very low on spice. Kentucky 2. That leans syrupy, super sweet, very unassuming, no huge spice notes, not even small spice notes. This is the least spicy so far, I think, is Kentucky 2. Florida 1. Florida 1 is back spicier, somewhere between these. Texas 2, North Carolina 1, Kentucky 1, Kentucky 2 are the prettiest flavor palate-wise. The texture of these 4 whiskeys is very nice and rounded and pretty. These 4 are harsh and rough and throw you around the room. And if you're into big rye spice, big throw you around the room kind of spice levels, South Carolina, Indiana, Texas 1 even has some. It was heading down, heading lower on that one. And Florida have got huge spice notes. They're going to rock your socks off, punch you in the face a couple times, punch you in the chest, and make you wonder why you got into bourbon. I mean, not really. They're just going to throw you around the room. These 4, Texas 2, North Carolina 1, Kentucky 1, Kentucky 2, are beautiful and pretty and just lovely. Okay, the winner here is Texas 2. Texas 2 is the prettiest, the most flavorful, the most rounded, the most cohesive. It doesn't feel like it's fighting with itself or with you. It's like, hey, let me show you some pretty flavors. Check this out. It's great. I love you. Marry me. That's a gorgeous whiskey. That's the best. So I brought my little tiebreaker, which is Georgia Batch 1 12-year, which so far has actually been my favorite, Sam Houston. The 12-year keeps beating the 14-year for me. Okay. I think that Sam Houston should stop at 12-year. I think once you get past 12 years, Sam Houston is picking up so much ester and so much oak spice that it's just, some of them, like Texas 2, are gorgeous. Some of these other ones are really nice too. A couple of these Kentucky ones are real nice. The North Carolina one is nice. Certain barrels are going to be hits at 14-year because of location in the rick house, because of the blend of the different barrels that they're using to make each batch. You're going to have some that are just honey and just gorgeous whiskeys. But that's just going to be by chance. I think 12 is the optimal age for this mash bill for these whiskeys, because the nose on this is far superior to any of these. I could pick out 5 or 6 notes out of this nose easily, whereas those, depending on which one we're talking about, I get 2 or 3 notes, because they're fighting with each other so hard, and they're not a nice, cohesive, beautiful unit of notes, of a symphony of textures and palate notes. On this one, I get a really nice breadiness. That rye is there. There's a really nice perfuminess. There's a good amount of herbality. I'm inventing that word. Its herbaceousness is perfect. Oh, I'm getting cherries and strawberries and dark fruit and really nice, creamy, oily textures on the nose. Yes. I'm sorry, but Sam Houston 12 year is where it's at. If you see a 12 year, I have never seen a 12 year here in Florida. I've seen the 10 year, the old Sam Houston 10 year. I've seen single barrels of Sam Houston. I've never seen a 12 year here. I've seen several of the 14 years, all way overpriced. This one, I was able to get it retail because the store was not a jerk. But most of these I see are well over retail. And honestly, I don't know why. Sam Houston 14 years is not worth $150. Honestly, it's not worth retail. My opinion. But the 12 is nice. I would buy the 12. If they'd bring the 12 here to Florida, well, they may have already have, but I've never seen one. I would buy that. I'd buy that for a drinker. That is so nice. Yes. So that's it. 14 year Texas Batch 2 is the superior one that I've tried so far. And from memory, comparing this, which is a new one, I haven't had this one before, to Georgia 1, I think that Texas 2 beats Georgia 1. Not by a lot. Georgia 1 was gorgeous. Georgia 1 was very, very pretty. But I think Texas 2 is the champion of the Sam Houston 14-year shootout. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, have a great day.